Okay, so in this video I'm going to show the technique for the clean. And let's start off with grip. So I'm going to go through it fairly fast, but I'm going to give you a bunch of components. I do want to say that if you want to learn this properly, you do need an Olympic weightlifting coach, someone that is qualified if you want to learn this well and become good at it. So first off, I like to start with a grip that's about a thumb width outside the hips, and then you're always going to hook grip, right? So you wrap your thumb and then wrap these two fingers around your thumb. That's called a hook grip, all right? Now we start with our positions, and I'll start from the floor here. What we're gonna have, okay, couple things. Let me go back a little bit so you can see this better, okay? We wanna make sure that our back is nice and flat always. This is throughout the entire movement. We never round our back at any point in time, especially when we're pulling off the floor, okay? Now, here's what happens. So mid-shin simulates the barbell on the floor with bumper plates. What we're going to do is we're going to rise, and the hips and the shoulders are going to rise at the same speed, so the angle of my back is going to rise at the same speed until I hit the top of the knee, okay? So basically, this is my first movement. You can also see my shins become vertical at the point where the bar is about right above my knee, okay? So the shins are tilted when I start, right? Eyes forward. The shoulders, the arms are internally rotated. The elbow is pointing down the line of the bar, okay? So as I come up, elbows down the line of the bar, right? Internally rotated. But I don't roll my shoulders. I keep a nice flat back, so I pull the shoulders back, but there's rotation here. So the elbow is shooting down the line of the bar. I'm going to rise up, hips and shoulders at the same speed, okay? And then I'm going to hinge, right? At the hip, I'm going to hinge and get my torso vertical. When I do that, my knees are going to slide forward. Don't push the knees forward. Don't scoop, okay? Just relax the arms. The arms are ropes at this point, and we're going to hinge, and then we end up in what's called the power position. In this position, we're going to jump. Okay, we're not going to leave the ground, obviously, because we're going to have weight in our hands when we're doing this, but we're going to extend the hips. It pulls us up onto our toes, and then we shrug. Okay, so this is part of the movement there. At the top of the shrug, what's going to happen is I'm going to pull. Now the elbows have to be down the line of the bar so that when I pull myself under, so as I pull, I'm pulling myself under the bar, the elbows go up and out, slightly back, but they don't roll backwards, okay? If my arms are externally rotated, okay, when I pull, they're just gonna go back. If they're internally rotated, when I pull, they're gonna go up and out, just like that, okay? Now the pull is never, in Olympic weightlifting, to pull the weight up, it's always to pull you under. That's for the snatch and the clean. And so we're going to, so we get to the top of our extension here. That's called triple extension. Ankles, hips, and knees are extended. And then I'm going to pull myself under, and I'm going to roll the elbows through, okay, and catch. Now this is a power clean because this is above parallel. A lot of people think it has to do with whether it comes from the floor or not. It does not. A power clean means you catch it above parallel, okay, and stop, and then stand it up. I can do the same thing as I come up, right, squat all the way down, and then come back up. That's a full clean, okay? So really quickly, we'll go through the components. I'll do it forward here. We're going to come up, hips and shoulders, same speed. The shins become vertical at this point. The eyes are always forward. The back is always flat. I'm going to hinge at the hip, getting into the power position. Once I hit the power position, I'm not throwing my hips. I do not throw my hips into the bar and bounce the bar that way, okay? Once I get to the power position, I jump. Will my hips hit the bar? They will, but it's not a scoop, and it's not a bang into the bar, okay? So, and keep the bar razor close the whole time. I always say brush the thigh. Don't drag it on the thigh, but just gently brush the thigh, and then extend, right? So we come up, hips, toes, and shrug, and then we're gonna pull ourselves under, catch, okay? And then this is the rack position again. I don't have any weight, so I can't get the bar. The elbows forward as far as I want, but the elbow should be nice and forward. The bar is in the rack position, which means I've got both hands here. Elbows are up, ideally creating a nice angle or a horizontal with the floor to some degree, somewhere in that range. But essentially I want the bar touching my throat and behind my anterior delt muscle here, so it sits on my shoulders. If I don't have good mobility, it may sit on my clavicle. That's not really good. You got to work on that mobility. But again, we want it to sit there. You can open the hand if you need to let it roll into the right position. If you're able to keep a closed grip, that's fantastic. If that means you have better mobility in your shoulders and wrists. But again, you can let it roll out into your fingers. Don't let your fingers pop off the bar, because if you're doing the jerk next, you want all 4 fingers on the bar, even if you're open. So if they pop off, you can readjust. There's a lot of other details to the clean. I think that gets you started. If you have any questions, post them to YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Stay strong.